Seattle freeze real thing. Are people in Seattle more cold, distant, fake nice than other major cities? Let's find out. Hi, my name is Gus Montgomery. Today we're going to do a deep dive into the Seattle freeze. So the Seattle freeze is this widely held belief that making new friends is extremely difficult when you move into the city of Seattle. People in Seattle have been described as cold, distant, not receptive to including other people in their group, being standoffish, fake nice, like, oh yeah, I'll call you, and they never call you, or the, yeah, let's hang out sometime, and then you reach out to hang out, and they leave you on red. There's a lot of examples of that. Actually, a really interesting article in the Seattle Met that was published August of 2023. And this article, they actually have the original author who coined the term Seattle freeze. And this author was talking about her experiences of meeting people in Seattle. And they asked her, do you think the Seattle freeze is still real to this day, 18 years later? And she said, yeah, but Seattle has changed a lot in the past 18 years. So, like, how can that be? How can a city that's changed so much in 18 years still have the Seattle freeze stereotype? Another interesting part is that most people that live in Seattle are not from Seattle. So back in 2019, the Seattle Times posted an article about Seattle being a transplant city. Back in 2019, 3 out of 10 adults that live in Seattle were born in Washington State. 3. And that's not even being specific on if the people are actually from Seattle. That can be anywhere in Washington State. And for those that actually live in Washington State, you know every city, especially the small towns, are so different than the city of Seattle. Also, 2 out of 10 people in Seattle were born in a different country. 5 out of 10 were born in another US state. So, what are the most common states that people are moving from to move to Seattle? According to Como News, California is the most popular state, followed by Texas, New York, Oregon, and Idaho, and Arizona, if I didn't mention that. So, 7 out of 10 people that live in Seattle are not from Washington State. Another aspect to think about is that the juggernauts like Amazon, Microsoft, just to name a couple, have created lots of job opportunities for people out of state. But according to the article, again, this is not my personal opinion, but according to the article, a lot of tech-based workers have been described as introverted. Most tech workers have been described as introverted personalities. So, 7 out of 10 people that live in Seattle are not from the state. And then there's a possibility that a majority of people moving in are introverted. Is that a reason why people are seen as cold, distant, standoffish? I don't know, but that's a very interesting thing to think about. One thing they mentioned is also confirmation bias. So, if this term has been around since 2005, and people who live in Seattle know about it, and people who are moving into Seattle know about it, all it takes is 1 or 2 interactions for people to be confirmed about their biases. So you meet one person when you first moved to Seattle, they seem really nice, you hit them up, and they don't want to hang out with you. I'm not even talking about dating. I'm just talking about, friends in general. In your mind, the bias has been confirmed. Oh yeah, the Seattle freeze is a real thing. And also something to consider is Seattle, it does rain 150 days plus out of the year. We're known for having seasonal depression because it's dark and gloomy in the winter and spring seasons. You don't see sunshine until like April, seems like, which is a long time. So it might be tough, for some of you out there that are more open to meeting people. It might take you some months, maybe some years, but my advice is to, find your interest, like find groups and hobbies that you're interested in. For example, if you're a fan of, the arts, go to local art shows. If you're a fan of, indie music, there's a lot of concerts that happen every week in Seattle. If you're a fan of sports, there's multiple adult sports leagues, kickball, basketball, volleyball, that you can join. That's a great way of making friends. If you like things like Dungeons and Dragons, I know they have meetups every single week. If you want to join a MMA gym, kickboxing, Muay Thai, they have a lot of communities like that. So I'm a true believer if you find your interest and you spread good vibes, the good vibes will return. Yeah, tell me your thoughts about the Seattle freeze. What do you think? Is it real? Is it not? What was your experience moving to Seattle for the first time? If you like this content, please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And I'll continue to provide more value going forward. Until next time, take care.